The following is a part 2 to the True Personal Violation Experiences video. This will be the last I do on this topic for a little while. I just have personal ties to this, and there's a very strong message to be sent out with these. These stories are not for entertainment, they are for education, and can actually be used as inspiration for some abuse victims. That being said, the following may be very triggering for many abuse victims. I issue a very strong warning with this video. If you would like to skip the stories and get straight to my output at the end, I'll have a link in the description with the timestamp. I'll also put it in the comments section. The first experience is by Alana Holt Adams, and the second experience is my personal experience with sexual abuse. Once again, before we begin this video, I do want to issue a very strong warning. The following may be triggering for many abuse victims. Let's begin. Out of respect for this monster's adult child, I will refer to him as Dr. Smith, which was not his real name. Handsome fellow, wasn't he? Tall, dark, and aristocratic. Going by the date printed on this photo, which I cropped off because it was printed next to his name, Dr. Smith was in his late 20s when this picture was taken. He looked basically the same when I knew him 20 years later, with just a touch of gray at his temples to lend an air of wise sophistication, in sync with the leather elbow patches and carved pipes that were all the rage for image-conscious psychiatrists in the late 1960s. His deep, soft hypnotic voice and sympathetic manner were even more compelling than his Rock Hudson good looks. With soulful gray eyes that seemed to read your innermost thoughts, everything about him said, "I care deeply about you and your problems." But everything about him was a lie. If anyone ever fit the description of a charming, successful, suave sociopath, this man certainly did. He almost killed me. Literally, almost murdered me. I believe he gave me the drug overdose on purpose, because I had told the nurse about the good doctor sexually abusing me. Of course, I wasn't believed. I was only 15 and I was a mental patient. Later, I was told that many other patients had accused this man of raping them, male patients as well as female. But he kept getting away with it because he was a great and wonderful doctor and above reproach. The truth about this evil man finally came to light the last time he raped me, the night when he almost murdered me. A nurse told me later that she heard me screaming bloody murder inside his office. She had tried to open the door, but it was locked. She said the doctor told her through the door that I was deep in a hypnotic state, relieving a terrible trauma. Hypnosis was his specialty. At first, all he used to put me under was a swinging pocket watch. He switched to giving me an injected drug to enhance the hypnosis after I pushed his hands away when he tried to molest me. As the drug took effect, I became too weak to fight him off. That's when he would molest me. Probably because of the drugs he gave me, I only remember vague, partial memories of the rapes. The last time, as he was slowly injecting an amber-colored liquid into the vein inside my left arm, the doctor told me, "If you ever tell anyone about what I'm doing, I will stick you in a hole so far you will never see the light of day again." Suddenly my chest hurt. I mean, it really hurt. I felt like a giant hand was squeezing my heart. I clutched at my chest and told Dr. Smith that my heart was hurting. He let go of the syringe and took my pulse. Then he quickly injected all of the remaining drug into my vein. The pain in my chest seemed to explode at that point. The pain was bigger than I was, bigger than the room we were in, bigger than the whole hospital. When I could not take the pain any longer, I passed out. What the doctor was doing to my body lying spread-eagled on the floor of his office, I could not see or feel. After it was over, he woke me and told me to go back to the ward. I stood and almost fell over. "Kiss me goodbye," he commanded. I shook my head no. "You will never be well until you stop repressing what you really want," he said. That was the last time I saw him. I felt like I was floating as I walked out of his office and across the street to my ward. I had the eerie sensation of only being in the top half of my body. My legs were moving up and down, taking one step after another, but my feet and legs did not feel like they belonged to me anymore. They were more like legs of a puppet, and I was making them move by pulling a string. As I walked onto the ward, my body crumpled to the floor. I seemed to be floating in the air, looking down at myself. The two nurses on duty rushed out of their office. They knelt beside my body. I was floating above them, looking at the back of their heads. I heard one of them say, "Her lips are blue." Then the other nurse said, "I can't find a pulse." Suddenly, I was back inside my body. I sat up with a jolt. I felt very dizzy. The nurses helped me to my feet, then walked me back and forth, holding me upright between them. Hours seemed to go by as they walked me from one end of the ward to the other. While we walked, they chatted with each other the way friends do, talking about their lives, their children, and their husbands. Finally, my head cleared enough that I could speak. I asked if I could go to the bathroom. It was hard for me to talk. My mouth felt like it was full of cotton. One of the nurses helped me into the bathroom, while the other went back to the office. The nurse stood beside me and watched as I pulled down my underwear. It was obvious from the condition of my underpants that I had been raped. She went out into the hall and called for the other nurse to come and look at my underwear. They must have reported everything to the police. 2 male detectives in suits came to the hospital the next day and questioned me. I never saw Dr. Smith again. I don't know if he was arrested, or if he lost his license, or what happened to him. I do know that he committed suicide the following year. To this day, anytime I am given an injection by anyone, for any reason, by a dentist, a nurse, male or female, it doesn't matter who gives me the shot, or why I'm getting it, or even where it is being given, every time I flash back to this, and I feel like I am being murdered all over again. Years after this happened, even after I knew he was dead, when I tried to tell this story, I would hear Dr. Smith's hypnotic voice inside of my head. "If you ever tell anyone about what I'm doing, I will stick you in a hole so far you will never see the light of day again." Even today, more than 4 decades after his death, I'm struggling whether or not I should post this. Telling the truth about what this evil man did to me isn't going to kill me, right? I am not going to end up in a hole so far that I will never see the light of day again, am I? Intellectually, I know that Dr. Smith's hypnotic threat has no power over me today, but my heart is pounding while I'm writing this. The next story is my personal experience with sexual abuse. It happened when I was a lot younger, probably about the age of 7 or so. And the person who did it wasn't actually related to me. They were related through family, but at the time I really thought he was my uncle. The rest of their family was really nice, and I got along great with them. But when they would let me stay the night over at his place, things would get a little weird. I remember he would take me in the bathroom and do very inappropriate things. At the time I was really young and didn't understand what was going on, and looked at him as an authority figure, so I went along with it. As time went on, it kept reoccurring, but it started changing shape and getting a little more extreme. I was never fully penetrated, but the psychological damage is still there. I can remember the details very vividly, And though this isn't my first experience with sexual abuse, it's unfortunate that all my earliest memories are of sexual abuse. It should be a time of happiness. I never told anyone for the longest time. He would try to bribe me, but it was mostly in fear. I never said anything. I didn't actually come out and say anything until about 10 years later, when my family moved out of the state and out of that city. I told my mom, and I didn't give her very many details. But it turns out, he actually did this to my sister too, his blood niece. And that's when it hit me. Had I said something earlier, I might have been able to get him before he got her. Still to this day, he hasn't paid for what he's done. And I know a lot of people would like to hear his name. But the rest of his family, like I said, is a very good family, and I have notified them. It's really unfortunate because the few times I was able to visit them before they started passing away, they had no idea, and they just unannounced brought him over. And needless to say, immediately I took off. I was there with my daughter. It was the first time that any of them had seen her. And I ended up calling his mom right after that and telling her what happened. And unfortunately, a couple years later, she passed away, and I never got to see her again. So that's another way it's even impacted my life since that occurrence, is I lost a lot of my family in that aspect by not opening that line of communication, because they were not okay with it. Not long after, I found out he actually had a daughter of his own, after the 10 years when I had said something, and by then it was way too late for any proof, anything to be done. I still feel guilty that I didn't say anything around the time the incident actually occurred, so that way we could get this sick fuck off the streets. But I was really afraid at the time, and it took a long time, and moving out of the state to be able to say anything. I've never considered myself a victim or a survivor. I just look at it as bad luck that has helped shape me into the strong person I am today. I know this is a very touchy subject for a lot of people, me included. That's why I've tried to do my best to respect it, but in the same sense get a couple of messages out. You are not alone if you have gone through this. It happens a lot more than you would think, to a lot more people that still haven't had the courage to come out and admit it yet. I wasn't going to include my personal experience, but the comments in the last video showed me truly how far spread this is, and I felt I was somewhat obligated to do that, so that people really know you're not alone. There are a lot of people going through this every day, and if everyone talked about it and got it into light, we might be able to get a lot more of these sick fucks off the road. Because being quiet out of fear, though it might be terrifying, could be one of the worst things we're doing. I also hope that anyone that might be going through this experience can find some inspiration in knowing that you can come out of this alive and be a stronger person, and you can even twist it and help other people that might be going through this unfortunate event. There is also something I'd like to address. If anyone in the comments talks about their sexual abuse experience, and you're a jackass and start saying shit that is uncalled for, you will be banned. I hate banning people, but this is not a topic you joke about. Wait till my true scary stories from Reddit to be a troll. This should be a safe video for any abuse victim to come and feel safe. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to get off my soapbox. I'm really sorry that this video is a little longer and it's very harsh, but it's a very good message that needs to be out there. And though I don't like talking about it, it's nice to bring it to the light to let people know they're not alone. I'm going to get off this topic for a while. I just wanted to put it out there because it's something truly important to me. I will see you guys tomorrow for another video. And I don't think it's right that I say my end quote at this part. So you all know what's normal and what to expect for tomorrow. Thank you very much for watching.